Yeah, I think it's very similar. Well, I've been exposed to this type of environments by a researcher.
Yes.
So in research conferences, you pitch a lot as well, even if it's your work.
Yes.
So there is a lot on the process of. I think I've become quite good now. That is because I've been in like 50 different spaces doing this. So something that I think it dovetails in what Takumi was saying is related to understanding what you were saying. Who is your audience? Like what sometimes it's, you have an idea, but you don't know if that person is gonna buy in. Is gonna be, you know, like there are many angles to sell your idea, but you don't know that person yet as to know from which angle. So sometimes you hesitate and you don't show that confidence that you are saying. Whereas, for instance, in another type of proposal, or for instance, fire, you know what they are looking for, so it's easier for me. But when it's face to face, it's more like I still don't know which angle to take with you. I don't know which language should I use. I don't know which.
And this is the difficulty of this exercise because you don't know what they're thinking. You know you want their money, but you don't know what will get them, what will get you to, what will attract their attention, how to grab their interest. And this is why I want you to think of them as people, as how do you connect with them. From those who haven't done this exercise, what are your fears about meeting an investor? Do you have questions? Are there maybe apprehensions, things that you're afraid of? If you were ever to meet an investor tomorrow, what would be your greatest fear?
For me, I have actually done it. It's only that in the first place, I was not sure what you mean by an investor. I have participated in several competitions. So what I learned in the process is that there's a link and some connection between failure and success. So for me, the failures that I got initially are kind of propelling me to my success. Because most entrepreneurs, and that's how I was initially, you go into a presentation, you are presenting your idea, you believe so much in this idea, you believe so much in the content and the information.
You're so enthusiastic that you think you will be
as
enthusiastic as you.
Maybe at that particular time, there are some stuff you're not getting right. But through failure and not getting it right at that particular time, you can learn from that and listen to others, like mentors or coaches, and incorporate their advice as well, or learn more. Through that process, you become much better. You understand even your business better. You understand and know what you're supposed, the information that is so critical that you're supposed to share, and how you're going to communicate, and eventually you make it.
Because sometimes we are so passionate about what we say, we get carried away, and then we forget about, I should have said that. It's finished, I should have said that. Or I forgot to say that. Is it true? So very often you go into this because you're carried away by your passion, and your passion is good, but the investor, he doesn't have time for your passion. He's an investor, he needs figures. So maybe just go quick on the table. Just tell me maybe what you think an investor would like to hear from anyone asking for their money. What element? If you're talking to an investor, I mean somebody who's going to invest in your business, what, according to you, what will you want to hear from? Profit. Profit, yes. Sorry? Result. Okay.
I think you can say two critical. I think one, then the investor has to like you. Unless they like you or they buy into you, they are not buying into your business. Then they're also looking at the returns, how we can make the returns back, making their money back. But I don't see an investor investing in a business unless they first buy into you as an entrepreneur.
They buy into your idea.
Yeah, okay. but I don't think somebody can invest in your business if there's no connection, if they don't like you, if maybe when you are presenting, the way you're presenting, they could not see the passion, and I think the passion makes them connect with you, understand your idea. So if they can't like you, they can't.
But do you think that the passion will make poor financial spouse? You see what I mean? You may be passionate, they may sense, they may feel your passion, but if you're not prepared and you're not telling them what they want to hear about the finance, the profit, they may like you. Of course they may like you. You may be like, wow, they're happy to see you. You may be bringing a smile on their face. But is that enough?
No, I think that's not enough, but I think that's one of
It's
the
like,
things.
a little tip on the balance, of course. But the main thing, or maybe somebody else would like to share?
Yeah. Well, while we're talking about this, I kind of feel like investors have these huge expectations of us to just walk in there, just give a big presentation and wow, but it never works out that way. Even for people who've got some ideas, who've got the financials. So, for example, an investor can I've seen on some shows.
Yeah, like those Shark Tanks and
Yeah.
everything.
They've actually, we've got like a Zimbabwean sort of version of that. They've actually said, your financials don't make sense. Come, we'll sit you down with a couple of our experts and then we can sort out some kind of path through. I'm just putting the two camps of thought together.
Because don't forget that they are all, people always ask them for money. So they listen to many pitches. So they've seen and heard it all. So it's really about you making a difference, you connecting with them, you making put an impact in their mind and say, okay, I remember this girl. She's the one paying football, but she's also doing this. This lady is doing that biologist, but she's also doing something else. So it's really about making an impact. So basically, they want to hear about your financial performance. You need to know your numbers well. Your background in the industry in which you are going into. You want to know how well you know the industry. Whatever industry you are, but how to show that you know it. You can't be entering in, I don't know, in Uber. You build the next Uber for Africa, but you're not into, you're not into technology, you're not into transport, you're not into that. They will be looking about your company uniqueness. What makes you unique? That's important. What makes you unique? What is what we call the unfair advantage? You know about that? Unfair advantage? Something that's really you. That makes, whether it's a patent, whether it's a skill that you have, whether it's an experience that you have, that nobody else besides your competitor can't have. Tell me.
So what if that uniqueness takes time to unravel? You know what I mean? Like, I don't know if someone is, that uniqueness cannot be shown in a 30 seconds elevator pitch, I would say.
You have to
Work it out.
impart that. You have to work your pitch so as to convey this message. You do have this uniqueness. You can't afford to talk to an investor and then telling him what takes you apart. If you only have 30 seconds for your elevator pitch, take it on the uniqueness. You see what I mean? If you've got this whole message.
Sometimes the uniqueness, just to get to understand the uniqueness.
Yes.
Especially depending on, sometimes you need to understand, you need to show that you know the industry.
Mm-hmm.
But sometimes your uniqueness is so unique that are the investors
It's really
who
niche. Yes.
are the investors who don't have a clue about that particular market, let's say, and to get them to listen to the uniqueness of that market,
okay.
you need more than those 30 seconds.
Then maybe what you're saying is that you just to focus on this uniqueness, you have to take, as we say in French, prendre du recul, and try to make your idea relatable to something else. Like a comparison that you say, okay, I'm going to be the Uber of Africa. I'm going to be the Starbucks of Nigeria. You see, you bring it to a comparison that's easy to understand and that maybe could speak to the investor. Something that will build an image in his mind quickly. Okay, it's not, but then as we say, it's really about taking the bigger perspective, or maybe focusing on the uniqueness, the the niche aspect of what you do, but taking the bigger picture and putting it in an even bigger picture. Okay? So they will look about your company uniqueness, your business model, of course, and your market size. Market size, this is very important. But I have a hard truth for you. People hate pitches and people love stories. Pitch is over. It's really about telling a story. This is why I started about you telling me something about you. Something that makes you unique, something that's really you. Not the pitch. The pitch, as he said, they may have like lots of expectations from pitches. They may not have they've seen and heard all types of business pitch, but they haven't heard a story about you. This is what I really believe is now what's happening in what I want you to work on. Don't just talk about the facts. Of course, don't forget that if we are talking about an investor pitch, you will give him your papers, your hands. You will give him all that. Try to grab his interest. Try to get your audience excited about. Try to go beyond your passion and make him excited about your idea. This is the hardest part. It's not about building your business plan, it's not about your figures. It is really trying to get this connection and think, okay, he'll be interested in knowing, wow, how do I go from football to building a startup? How do I go from biology to building this? How do I go from history, being a PhD holder, to trying to solve a solution, to solve a problem in my country? How do I go about that? What makes you, what drives you? Okay? And for me, it's all about telling stories about how your customers are going to use your product or your solution or your service. What type of problem they currently experience. How do they live now, and how you're going to make a difference? How are you going to make a difference in those everyday lives of all those countries from which you come from? Tell me the story. Talk to me, like we're talking person to person. Talk to me. Tell me about you. Tell me about what brought you to your business idea. And of course, you have to tell us how your company is going to change the lives of other customers. You have any questions about that?